The test of a man in the 21st century is to ask him what he thinks about January 6th. If he's a weak, pathetic, shit-simpering ass coward, he'll say, "It was a violent attack on our democracy," and then he will piss his pants and cry himself to death. That kind of man, the only thing you can do with him is push him out of a helicopter onto a volcano. The second most pathetic answer is, the feds baited Trump voters into doing it. This response usually comes from MAGA normies who still think they can make peace with anti-Trumpers if they expose enough facts. The correct answer to the question, what do you think about January 6th, is they didn't go far enough. It's also acceptable to say, an insurrection without guns? Are you absolutely fucking certain about that, dipshit? So this brings us to Bob Woodward. Bob is a shit-tier journalist who wrote a book called Peril, one of several of his books where he cries like a little baby about the Orange Man. To be perfectly accurate, Bob Woodward didn't write it. The actual writer is Robert Costa. It's basically a James Patterson situation. You write a specific formula, and James puts his name on it, and you split the money. Bob Woodward is a professional establishment bootlicker who toes the party line like a good little doggy. It should come as no surprise, therefore, that roughly 50% of Peril is absolute fiction. It reads like what you would expect if Tom Clancy had been the founder of Drag Queen Storytime, rather than a yawn-ass Reaganite. Take the opening scenario, for instance. Bob wants you to believe Trump was going to attack China in order to win the 2020 presidential election. I'll read a passage from Peril. The Chinese were already on high alert about U.S. intentions. On October 30, 4 days before the presidential election, sensitive intelligence showed that the Chinese believed the U.S. was plotting to secretly attack them. The Chinese thought Trump, in desperation, would create a crisis, present himself as the savior, and use the gambit to win re-election. Unquote. If Bob Woodward or Robert Costa actually believe what they wrote in that book, nobody is stupid enough to believe that. They just think you're stupid enough to believe it. It's why they put it in their book, because they're propagandizing you. They themselves aren't dumb enough to buy their own bullshit. If you believe that Trump was going to attack China to win the 2020 election, stop watching this video right now. Go away, you pathetic, psychotic, smooth-brained dipshit dork. You're sitting there, you're like, oh, what about January 6th? Look, here's the deal. Okay, if you're triggered by January 6th, then what you can do is you can go kiss your boyfriend Bob Woodward on his lips. Woodward writes that Mark Milley had witnessed close-up how Trump was routinely impulsive and unpredictable. Yeah, that's part of where his power comes from. Law 17 in the 48 Laws of Power is keep others in suspended terror, cultivate an air of unpredictability. Here's what Robert Greene writes. Humans are creatures of habit with an insatiable need to see familiarity in other people's actions. Your predictability gives them a sense of control. Be deliberately unpredictable. Behavior that seems to have no consistency or purpose will keep them off balance, and they will wear themselves out trying to explain your moves. Taken to an extreme, this strategy can intimidate and terrorize. So Robert writes sort of deliberately in a provocative manner and like over the top with intimidate and terrorize. But the general message of what he's saying is true. Okay, so before lefties go and poo their panties about Trump being a disciple of the 48 Laws of Power, you should probably, 1, grow the fuck up, and 2, realize that the author, Robert Greene, is on your side. Robert Greene is a Democrat. I also heard that he is allegedly Bob Woodward's lover. They take romantic walks and talk about how much they hate the scary orange man. Regardless, Trump knows how to play these games. He's a grandmaster whose moves infuriate and bewilder his opponent. Opponents like you. Opponents like the leaders of third world nations jockeying for power. Third world leaders don't speak the language of geopolitical deference and nuance. They speak the language of power. They're scared of Trump, and that's good. Nobody was scared of Biden. They saw Biden for what he was, a weak, corrupt, senile coward who they could take advantage of. And boy, did they ever take advantage of that situation. But we have spent too long on this little 48 Laws of Power detour. Let's get back to the point. Bob Woodward is lying to you when he says that Trump planned to attack China. Bob continues lying when he writes, quote, making matters even more dire, Milley was certain Trump had gone into a serious mental decline in the aftermath of the election, the 2020 election, with Trump now all but manic, screaming at officials and constructing his own endless election conspiracies. So this dude is accusing Trump of mental decline while at the same time writing a 400-page book that dick rides Joe Biden. That takes a level of unself-awareness that is frankly impressive. The Biden coup left us in an Alzheimer's dictatorship for 4 years, and Woodward is going to nitpick Trump's mental acuity? That's like a man who marries a porn star and then freaks out because your wife shook hands with some dude. Bro, she's being such a whore right now. You know, back before Trump decided to deliberately protect Epstein's employer, Mossad, and all of his pedophile associates, I had some feelings about the whole Biden coup. I was upset about it, and I thought Trump was a coward for letting permanent Washington steal the election, and I thought he was a traitor when he told the National Guard to arrest his biggest supporters, you know, the people who showed up to the Capitol on January 6th and were like, okay, let's not let them subvert democracy. We are here. Let's go. And I was a little happy that the establishment had stolen the 2020 election. I was like, history put Trump on the banks of the Rubicon, and he was too scared to cross it. So, bye-bye. Go to prison. And then in the first few weeks of the second Trump presidency, I was glad that we saw the Biden dictatorship. We got to see how much damage the Democrats can do in 4 years. Our collective memory as Americans is very short, but I was hopeful that we could remember that for at least a few election cycles. But there's me with the Fell For It Again award. For the future of MAGA, I think it's beyond obvious to anybody paying attention that we need to put Christ at the center of our politics in the future. Trump was a nice start, you know, pre-Epstein Trump, but now we need to transition into something more closely resembling theocracy. A council of Christian men should replace the current figurehead model. Atheists are not allowed on my channel, by the way. You get the fuck out of here. But my idea of a council of Christian leaders is not going to happen. At least it won't happen through democracy. So what does that mean? We need a dictatorship. A real one. I don't want to do the job, but perhaps if this video gets 4 million views, I might consider it. But don't worry, lefties, if you're watching this, this video is not going to get 4 million views. It's going to get like 20 or 30. Oh, hey, let's talk about Nancy Pelosi and Mark Milley. Let's go back to Woodward's dumbass book for idiots. Nancy Pelosi called Mark Milley and had the following outrageously badly written exchange. She said, what precautions are available to prevent an unstable president from initiating military hostilities or from accessing the launch codes and ordering a nuclear strike? This situation of this unhinged president could not be more dangerous. We must do everything we can to protect the American people from his unbalanced assault on our country and our democracy. Okay, that's what Nancy Pelosi said. Or that's what Bob Woodward wants you to think that she said. Permanent Washington has some of the shittiest writers I've ever read. At some point in the conversation, Milley said, the United States military is steady as a rock, and we're not going to do anything illegal, immoral, or unethical with the use of force. We will not do it. That's how he talks. And what he said is clearly a lie. The American military installed the dictator, Joe Biden. The military kicked out everyone who wouldn't get the COVID jab. The military has done a lot of shady shit, and now Pete Hegseth is trying to make the military cool again because the American war machine needs to send more young men to die in Iran. And I'm just going to stop there before MAGA boomers jump into the comments and shriek about me being a woke leftist or some shit because they don't bother understanding a goddamn thing. Okay, so I just mentioned MAGA boomers. We have to take this little detour. Anybody who is a fan of the sports game of American politics should do a chef's kiss anytime The left accuses the right of being Nazis. It's such a great rhetorical maneuver. I'm a fan of good rhetorical maneuvers, like whether my enemies do them or whether my allies do it. I just love good rhetorical stuff. It just makes me so happy. I don't know why. It's like a chess game. I see a good chess move, I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Even if you're my opponent, that's a great move. This is such a great rhetorical maneuver because it instantly and totally hijacks everybody's brain. All they're able to do, especially MAGA boomers, the only thing they're able to do is just sit back and scream, I'm not a Nazi! Actually, you're the Nazi. Hitler was a woke vegetarian. Like, the MAGA boomer brain just totally shuts down. I mean, everybody's brain just shuts down with that word. That's why it's such a perfect little piece of rhetorical fucking judo. I love it so much. American politics is two brain-dead dipshits shouting Nazi at each other while their kids get chemically castrated and bankers hollow out their economy. How could I not be a fan of this brilliant rhetorical maneuver? It's incredible watching both sides of the political spectrum throw the same tired-ass insult at each other over and over and never learn a fucking thing. The Holocaust is the foundational event in the American political religion. Satan has been replaced by Hitler. The suffering of Jesus has been replaced by the anguish of the Jewish people. The crucifix has been replaced by gas chambers. I'm just stealing all this from Bishop Richard Williamson. Every single political conversation in America eventually boils down to someone accusing their debate opponent of being a Nazi. That's all they have. That's everybody's trump card. All they can do is just sit back and say, you don't care about the Jews as much as I do. So if anybody wants to call me a Nazi right now, good job. You're playing into my favorite piece of political rhetoric. So thank you for throwing it at me. I appreciate that. Now, if we're tackling the substance of what you're saying, guess how much I fucking care about your gay little name calling. During the last 10 years, everybody has just been calling everybody else racist and sexist. So this Marxist fucking rhetoric kind of backfired, didn't it? When this topic comes up, people get extremely upset. A very similar reaction occurs when someone blasphemes against Muhammad or Allah. Like, I could piss on a crucifix right now and nobody would bat an eye. But if I say America's foundational religion is the Holocaust, I just stand back and watch the unhinged reaction from supposed adults. People who are like, you gotta pull your bootstraps up and shit. Okay, what do you think about Israel? Great as hell, are you a Nazi? It's fucking pathetic, America. Grow the fuck up, you credulous dipshits. By the way, you disgusting dispensationalist maniacs, Trump is currently trying to drag us into another goddamn forever war with Iran. All your most retarded fantasies are true, so if you're in your 60s and you love Trump so much, go fucking die in Iran. Go do it. I love how Tucker has been on this kick for the last year or so, maybe longer, about how much he hates neocons. So, yeah, okay, buddy. You know what? I hate neocons too. Let's talk about that. Neocons are not human. Never forget how the Democrats embraced Mitch ass-fucking McConnell and Dick shit-fucking Cheney. If you think those men are better than Trump, fuck you, I hate you. But the TV told me Orange Man bad. The TV wouldn't lie to me. I don't know why I'm doing that accent. People who have that accent are often smarter than people with my fucking gay college accent. So I apologize, Southern accent havers. But, like, to believe the shit that your TV tells you, either you're dumber than Homer Simpson or you're a fucking bootlicker. You're the kind of person who thinks the two least popular Democrat candidates, Biden and Harris, could honestly beat the most popular president in American history in a fair election. You cannot be that stupid. If I were God, you should fucking be thankful that I'm not. I would send you to hell simply because of how stupid you are. Sinfully credulous. Absolute fucking brain rot. Get your 927th COVID booster, put your mask back on, and keep your fucking slave mouth shut. So that's it. I will be back in a future video talking about Bob Woodward's book, Peril. It's a gem of political writing. It's It's just glorious. Until next time, politics dorks. Love ya. See ya in the next one.